I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Change
Honey,
my
where
mind.
did you learn that?
Apparat's shopkeeper taught me. I had a similar problem and went to her for help.
Do you have an update?
The theft of your jewels may have been a launch pad, a dry run, for stealing what they're really after.
Oh, sneaky.
And what do you believe that
What is
is?
with these light rays, man?
I hear the crown jewels are going on display. A rare occasion.
Is it possible? I don't know that there is a
Oh,
connection.
that was so stressful,
The
man.
gems in my
Oh.
mother's necklace are from the same era as the crown jewels. They wouldn't even be fake. They could reasonably be used as a convincing substitute for the real royal jewels. When would they strike?
Within a number of days. They must have a plan for getting all 7 keys.
You know the history. I would expect nothing less of you.
Aw, thank you.
They would not need all 7 official keys if they make their own.
Oh.
How could they do that?
For centuries, alchemists were part of the royal courts. If King Leopold II's royal alchemist made the original keys, the plans may still be in his workshop.
You really do know your history. The workshop must be long gone by now.
If it exists anywhere, I imagine it would be somewhere around the castle complex.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Have you had this kind of computer trouble before?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Whoever tampered with our computers wanted us to know.
Yes, the thought crossed my mind.
Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
Yes, but this is a history lesson. We do not have Residente today.
What does Residente mean again?
What makes you so sure?
They have done nothing in decades. You waste your time with this.
I don't know what it means. I can't remember.
I'll see what more I can find and let you know.
Well, if it would stop a greater crime, then please continue.
I will. Thank you.
Cheers. Right. Okay, so...
Can't check that off yet.
Okay, and then...
Are you here for coffee or questions?
Both, please.
A little bit of both.
Knew it. Knew it. Ooh, okay, perfect.
Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
You are romantic. A secret conspiracy of criminals haunting the streets of Prague.
Have you ever encountered them?
If I have, I didn't know it.
Touche.
Do you know where they keep the crown jewels?
They have replicas on display
The real ones.
in a vault in the castle complex, no?
Adela told me that King Leopold II had a royal alchemist in his court.
This does not surprise me. We have an entire section on alchemy here.
Ah,
Books in English, too.
perfect.
Do you believe that he had a workshop? Could it still be around here?
A hidden workshop? I have heard of hidden passages. I remember. They have an exhibit on alchemy at the castle.
They do. We
The
looked
one
at it.
overseen by Oscar Dvorak?
If you say so.
Okay.
This cafe is amazing. It's been here a long time.
Yes, centuries.
Always serving coffee?
Coffee was brought here in the 1700s.
Okay, here's a bit of like the history that I'm like a little less interested in, but you know.
Serving it in this very spot. It was considered a rare and exotic drink that few could afford. The rulers even determined it was only to be served to the royals and nobles. They say
Okay, that's actually
that
interesting.
members of my family long past were among the first to enjoy this delicacy. But today, I'm happy to say, our coffee is served to all.
Fantastic.
This cafe passed on to you.
In a way, different regimes owned all of the businesses here. My family struggled to keep it, as I do today.
I can see that you do love your work.
It is the history that makes me stay, knowing how hard some have had it. I can't bring myself to leave. It is not that I have never wished to leave, to try something new. I would love to be a writer, or to travel the world like you and Adela. For me, I have my recipe book to write in, and I make coffees from around the world.
Excellent.
Now, that will have to do.
All right.
Thank you. You've given me a lot to work with.
Anytime. You ask the best questions.
I gotta say, I really like how Nancy ends her conversations. They're not always the same. I'll talk to you later. Guess I'll leave you now. You know, all that stuff. It's all like tailored to the responses that she was given and the conversations that she's had. Like I really like that. I really like that. The writing in this game is just much better than Midnight in Salem overall. So we gotta go talk to Oscar now, I think, because the big man had he runs the display and all that stuff. You there. You there! Stop chasing me around. Not the fan.
Ah, Miss Drew. More questions?
Yes.
What can I say? I have an interest in your history.
Your history.
History is not the problem.
Clearly.
How often do you need to work with the Dean of St. Vitus?
I have tried to work with him on numerous occasions, but his secretary seems to run an unusually tight schedule.
Can you explain why you were so keen to meet with him?
How would you know that?
He invited me to visit him at St. Vitus. I was in the area.
If you must know, I wanted to schedule the inspection appointment at the cathedral. That is all.
Okay.
Have you heard?
You don't need to worry about them. Prague is perfectly safe for tourists.
Have they ever been connected to jewel thefts?
You have an imagination. Perhaps in the past, yes. But now?
Okay.
What do you know about alchemy in the old royal court?
I put the alchemy exhibit together myself.
Is it a personal interest of yours?
The exhibit is over there. I don't have time to talk.
Why
you
are
through
his
it,
eyes
but
not
you
looking
can
right at
read
us?
it
They're like at our
yourself.
forehead.
You might not understand it all, so come back and ask questions if you have any.
That's a generous offer.
Indeed. So yeah, we got that. Like, I figured that.
I'm not done with that
You
yet.
have to ask
Oh,
Vladena.
you again.
Oh, okay. Way to shut us down. Who else could we ask about? Oh, Radek, maybe?
You just missed today's play. Actually, you didn't. It was the same as yesterday's.
I wondered if you'd still be here. I had a few history questions.
Just one
for
or
you.
two.
Lay them on me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Did you finish the Residente script?
It's still a work in progress. I'm not really sure how to end it.
Why is that?
Because the Residente haven't finished yet.
Most people I spoke with believe the Residente disbanded quite a long time ago.
I'm not most people.
Clearly.
Do you believe alchemy still has a place in today's world?
The alchemy of those days is a dying art. Like my marionettes. Sometimes I think leaving the past in the past might be simpler.
Why is it a problem? You're keeping your traditions alive.
I might have been better off sticking with video games.
That's what I'm doing right now. It's great.
Do you know specifically who originally made the 7 keys?
Yes, it is said that Leopold II's royal alchemist made them. Alchemy was a science back then, and kings kept alchemists in their court. You can see evidence of this all over Prague, down to the smallest detail. Nothing mystical about forging keys, of course.
Do you know his process for forging them?
Merrick knows better than I do. I make marionettes dance, but don't really make them physically. He's a master craftsman. Marionettes, keys, you name it.
Brilliant.
Are the Residente real?
You've been reading my script. Yes, they are real. They've been active for centuries.
How would someone join them?
Are you considering a life of crime?
Well, obviously, aren't you?
No. I'm wondering what kind of person they attract.
Ooh.
They attract loyal people who care about Prague and its citizens.
Honor among thieves.
I'm not
That's that new
familiar
Dungeons
with
and
this
Dragons movie.
expression. Many regimes in our history made everyday acts a crime. The Residente are not our biggest criminals.
Clearly.
Ah. Sympathetic to their cause?
I like tradition, as you can see.
Thanks for your expert analysis. I'll keep it all in mind.
Of course.
Of course.
Nancy, before you go, have you ever read Kafka's Metamorphosis?
No.
Not yet, but I know the story.
Then you know. The real monsters in Prague, they don't always look it.
Okay, that was a bit spooky. Let's not dwell on that for too long then. 34 bridges straddle the... Oh, really? That's amazing. Game 34, bros. Hello?
Dobry den.
Dobry den. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, I was like a little bit annoyed with it yesterday at first, but I love that we can now go back on past conversations like this.
Alchemy seems to be a large part of Prague's history
Very
and
nice.
continues to be relevant today. Do you know anything about the alchemists of the old royal courts?
I learned many skills from those times. I fix old marionettes and automatons, but some tricks got lost along the way.
So you can't turn lead into gold?
I would not be here if I could. I mean, for example, the old case right there.
What about it?
It belonged to an alchemist from centuries ago, sometime during the 16th century. I could never find a way to open it without breaking it.
Interesting.
That I won't do.
May I give it a closer look?
This is like Bloomin' Canyon.
Please be careful.
Do you know how they molded the 7 keys that lock up the crown jewels?
Not molds, schematics. In those days, they wrought keys in a forge and hammered them into shape.
Ah.
Strong iron made them sturdy, but not the 7 keys. They are more delicate. So they say.
If the schematics for the original keys still exist, where would they be?
Hidden. If they were hidden by the alchemists who made them, they would have locked them away somewhere they could never be found. But not with
Interesting.
the key.
Then how? Do you think they still exist?
Alchemists were very clever. The schematics could have been destroyed by now.
You have filled a few holes in my knowledge. Thank you.
At least someone is interested in what I know.
You're thinking of Elka? To me, daughter or granddaughter, sometimes spending time together is enough.
Okay.